Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pete from FigLife.com, and I'm standing in my new greenhouse. I have the evaporative cooling system going. It feels great in here. Got the fans blowing. Feels like I'm standing on a warm beach with a cool ocean breeze blowing. So it's nice to be done. It's nice to have this completed. It was a lot of work getting the construction done, and it was a long process. I took a lot of videos and some photos to document that process and put them together in a little video here. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And as for me, I'm gonna go do some work in my greenhouse. I finished grading a pad for the greenhouse in September 2023. And this is what it looked like when I finished. I did a video on it earlier. And by mid-October 2023, a lot of the grass had grown in and it was starting to look pretty good. And I was ready to begin the work on the greenhouse construction. In order to build the greenhouse, there was a lot of infrastructure work that had to be done. And the three main things that I had to get to the greenhouse were water, electricity, and gas. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough water on site already, so I had to dig a new well. I did some surveys in the spring of 2023, and I had a geologist come out and do those. And he estimated that at this site right here, I could get 5 to 10 gallons per minute at 300 feet. It turns out after they dug it, they ended up getting 4 gallons per minute at 300 feet. So that was pretty close to his estimate, and I was happy with that result. We had to wait on getting a lot of the other infrastructure in until after we dug the well because the routing of the water lines depended on how much water we were going to get out of that well. So once we figured that out, we could proceed forward with the rest of the project. This is a loader that I rented to offload the greenhouse materials. It's basically an off-road forklift with a telescoping arm, and that allowed me to take the equipment off of the truck and then move it to the locations that I wanted to move it on the property so that the construction team could build the greenhouse.
What is that? That's a forklift. It's a forklift. That does not look like a forklift.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's mid-October, and today's the first day that I'm going to start my greenhouse construction. I've got the greenhouse contractors coming today. They're going to start work on the foundations and also do some work putting a new power pole in. So pretty exciting. I think it'll move pretty quick once we get started here. The greenhouse materials are actually supposed to arrive today as well. So I got this forklift here, and I'm going to use that to unload the semi-truck when it gets here. So exciting stuff. Finally getting started on the construction of the greenhouse itself. It's been a long wait, but this should go pretty quick once we get started. So when the greenhouse materials arrived, I started unloading the trailer with my rented forklift, and it was a little bit of a learning experience. So that sound was the sound of some of the materials dropping off of the forklift as I was moving it, and that was my very first load that I was taking, and right as I started taking it, the stuff fell off, and I actually ended up damaging one of the bundles of metal so badly that I had to contact the manufacturer and get a replacement set. But I did learn from my mistake, and that was actually the only set of materials that I ended up dropping through the whole, the whole unloading process. So, and I was glad because it could have been expensive if I had kept dropping things. So that long black roll there is actually the shade curtain for the greenhouse, and then the rest of those materials are bench pieces. So I was really nervous about this load right here because this was all of the polycarbonate for the greenhouse, and this one load cost about $15,000, and so it was very expensive. And then the other thing was that the width of that pallet was so wide that it actually wanted to fall off the front end of the forklift. And the manufacturer had kind of warned me about this, and they said I'd probably have to strap it down. And so I actually had a couple straps that were wrapped around the front of that load and then connected into the top of that forklift. You can kind of see it there. But that was really all that was holding it from falling forward as I was moving it to the staging site. And so I was trying to be really careful with this, and just really concerned about dropping this one load because it was so expensive. But I made it the whole way, got it in the proper location, and didn't drop it. So I was pretty happy when that was done. This was one of the last loads that I had to take from the delivery. I finished up moving a few of the final items with my ATV. It took most of the afternoon to get all this equipment off the trailer, and I was pretty tired when it was all done. The next day, the greenhouse contractors started on the infrastructure work. That's giant. Wow. That's the biggest rock we pulled out of here this whole time. So they had to tear up my beautiful new access road to put the utilities in, but they actually did a really good job of keeping the dirt that they were digging out right there on the road, and then getting that trench dug in there. So it turned out pretty good, actually. This is a video of the greenhouse contractors digging the holes for the foundation for the greenhouse. And I've got this in fast forward here, so it's going a little bit fast, but you can see how they're doing it. They're using that the Bobcat skid steer with that digger attachment on the front.
There's a lot of holes. That's for the foundation, right?
A little bit of rain today. Foundation holes drilled. Fill these with cement. There was one of these that has a rock in it. I'm not sure which one it is. I see a rock in the bottom of that. No, not that one. Oh, this ground is really soft from this rain. Nope. Oh, what's this? That's got to be it. That's definitely not as deep as the others. Yeah. You can see the rock there too. Huh. Once they dug everything, they had a few rocks that they had to take care of, and this involved drilling holes in the rocks and then placing this chemical compound inside of the holes, and then that would expand out and crack the rocks open. So you guys don't do this very often then? Drilling what is this, chemical?
I mean, we do. We take out boulders. It all depends on what we need to get done.
Yeah.
We haven't really used, we usually have bigger equipment that we could take in to take it out.
Here you can see the holes that are prepped for the use of the chemical compound. And this is after they have applied the chemical compound to the holes. And then you just wait, and that'll expand out and crack the rocks so that they're easier to remove. Here you can see they've started to put some of the utility lines in the trench, and there were actually quite a few utility lines in this trench. For a portion of the trench, we had 6 utility lines. We had 3 electric lines, 2 water lines, and 1 gas line that were running through the trench. So you can see here that that chemical compound is expanded now and it's cracking that rock. And here's what's left of that rock. You can see not much. So while that utility work was going on, they were also working on starting the structure itself. So they staged the poles for the pouring of the foundations, and you could really see the size of the greenhouse once they did that. And this was a pretty dramatic moment because we just had the pad there for quite a while, and so to see the structure start to go up was pretty exciting. Yeah, it's a giant door. Like Lord of the Rings. What a... Now you can see the 3 lines that are up at the greenhouse. You've got the yellow gas line, the white water line, and that gray line underneath was the electrical line. So at this point, they've got all the utility lines running up to the greenhouse, and it's just a matter of getting that stuff, well, once the pressure tests are done, getting that trench filled back in. Time to pour the foundations. So because the road was not in good enough shape to bring a cement truck all the way down to the greenhouse, what we did was get a pumper truck and then bring the cement truck down just a little ways on the access road. And then the pumper would be used to pump the concrete from the cement truck over the rest of the way to the greenhouse.
Going in monumental right here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Can't change my mind now. Now that the foundations are poured, we can finish up the access road. With the access road put back together, we can bring in some other equipment to assist with the build. That's a neat little thing.
It is. Sometimes you'll have like a drop down where you can stand on the back when you're in the better. You have the
Oh yeah, nice.
Here I go.
I rented a compactor, so after we got the gravel laid out, I got to try driving it for the first time. You can see here the new power pole alongside the old one. The new one is the bluish colored pole, and that old brown one's going to get removed. They had to go under the driveway in order to tie into the existing water infrastructure. The final big push on construction had them completing the end walls, putting in the ventilation fans, and then moving on to the interior systems. Here you can see the retractable curtain system. This is the Link 4 Pearl control system. It's a brand new system that's been released by Link 4. Replaces the older iGrow systems. I installed some LED lighting, and this is really just intended to provide visibility and not to function as a grow light. These are the propane heaters that are used to provide heating for the entire volume of the greenhouse. There's 2 of them, and these are the Modine Hot Dog brand heaters. These are horizontal airflow fans or recirculation fans. They just keep the air moving around inside the greenhouse to prevent stagnation of the air. And on the north end wall, there's a large evaporative cooling system. So this will function together with this vent on the back side of the greenhouse and the fans on the front end wall in order to pull air through, and the evaporation of the water being pulled through that foam pad will provide cooling for the greenhouse. And one of the final things that was constructed was the benches inside the greenhouse. And this is a rolling bench system, so it'll cover most of the square footage inside the greenhouse, but I'm only installing it on the north half of the greenhouse for now, just to save some money. Good afternoon, everyone. It's February 2024, and I'm still waiting for my greenhouse to be finished. It's just waiting on the electrical at this point. PG&E was originally supposed to put the electrical together in early February, and unfortunately we had some storms come through, so we had to wait for about another month, and hopefully early March we'll get the electric hooked up. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's March 22nd, 2024, and today I think PG&E is finally going to hook up my electricity for my greenhouse. I started that process probably, I think, June of last year, and we finally got the work scheduled to occur in early February. We had one storm come through which delayed it, and then another storm came through which delayed it again. But today it's a beautiful day, and I think this work is finally going to get done, and my greenhouse will finally be complete. So I couldn't get the greenhouse electrical hooked up until this PG&E work was complete, because all the new electric was running to this new power pole, and that's where we were going to put a new service panel. The original service panel for the house was only 200 amps, and there just wasn't enough room to hook up the greenhouse onto that old panel, and so we installed a new 320 amp panel on that new pole. And that required us to route the existing power from the house over to that new panel, and also connect all the greenhouse and all the other new electric lines into that new panel as well. So that's why nothing could happen until this greenhouse, as far as getting power to the greenhouse, until this PG&E work was complete on the new panel. Yeah. All right, I just turned on the power. Now we're gonna go check the greenhouse. Okay. So there should be power down here. I think everything's off though right now. Okay. Oh wait, generator on. I want to turn it off. Okay. Let's just swap all this off. Okay, main power on. Exhaust fan 1 on. 2 on. 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 Whoa. Something happened. No. Something turned on. External lights on. Interior lights on. Vents on. Shade on. Heater, pad, pump. Leave that off. Horizontal air fans, interior receptacle. Okay. All right, let's try. What is this here? Let's try this. Actually, let's leave that shut. It's the curtain, maybe? Hold that open, please. Open. Oh, that's the vent for the wall. Come over here. All right, maybe that wasn't it. Maybe that was let me try opening this up. Open. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's opening up. Very slowly. Okay, let's go back inside. That fan's not very loud though. I know the main fans aren't on yet. Oh, it's the curtain. Look, it's opening up. Let me just stop that off. Okay. I need to. You see a screwdriver around here, buddy? Or like even a coin or something. Here, I'll use this. See if this works. There we go. All right. Okay. Gable shutter and gable fan. That's why those are on. Okay, so Hey, watch this, Eli. Eli, come here. Watch this. Oh, wait, we'll wait for Mama. Come on, Mama. I'm gonna turn everything on. I'm gonna turn everything on.
Wow, it's gonna fly now.
I know. Here, I'm gonna turn on the horizontal air fans. There they are. Look at that. Just circulate air. No. Okay, hold on. There we go. Whoa! Feel that breeze? going. There's no water coming through the wet wall right now. If there was, it would be like cool air. Yeah. Now that I have the power hooked up, I can get my new well on service. Oh, there we go. Nice. It looks clean.
Yeah, good. Recalibrate this guy.
Did the timer just shut it off or what?
Yeah, so we're calibrating the pump saver. That way,
For what, 50?
Yeah.
Somewhat close.
That way it reads the amperage, and as soon as the amperage drops past what it's getting calibrated to, it'll shut off.
Oh, okay.
So.
Nice. Yeah, water looks clean.
Yeah.
I was kind of half expecting it to be like brown or something.
Yeah. No, me too. Because we had to pump this deal. So.
Getting the air out of this water line. A lot of air. Oh. There we go. Hey! Oh. Nice. Got water there. Water at the greenhouse. Turns out one of the pipe connections that was done earlier wasn't glued together, and so water ended up coming out from the joint. But it was a pretty simple fix, and anytime you're doing a project like this, you're going to run into a few problems, and you just got to work through them. And there's the finished product. All right, we hooked up the propane down at the greenhouse, so now I'm going to turn it on for the first time. There we go. Now I'll go check the greenhouse. All right, it's on. Just bleeding all the air out?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll take it forever to fire.
Yeah.
It's probably that whole line.
Yeah. It's a lot of pipe. Oh, is that what does that mean the propane's coming out?
Yeah, it just changed. It's a little thicker, so it has a different whistle.
Huh.
Sounds like
Oh, I see some exhaust or something coming out. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. It'll burn off a little bit of oil that first time it's fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
And then that fan should kick on at some point, right?
Yeah, once those coils actually get hot enough, that goes on and off.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Yeah, health first are good. We only lost a pound of air since they pressurized last time. Yeah. There we go. Oh yeah. All right, I got the water hooked up. The greenhouse builders basically stopped the water here at this valve. So as you can tell, I did this myself. Get this nice design here that I made with the primer. Anyway, and I just put this here temporarily because later I'm going to connect onto this and send it under the greenhouse wall, and then run all my irrigation off of the water line here. But for now, I just put this spigot on here, and then I put this hose. So this goes to the wet wall over here. All right, so the water's going into this sump here. This is the sump for the evaporative cooling system. There's a pump in there, and it pumps the water through that pipe. And there's a bunch of holes in the pipe, and it drips down onto this pad. And then you have airflow coming through the pad, and that evaporation of the water that's entrained in the air causes the air to be cool. So I've got the pump running right now. I've got the water coming down, and I have one fan going. So let me just shut the door and turn on the other fan. The reason I have to shut the door is because if the door is open, air will just get pulled through the door instead of getting pulled through the pad over there. So if you want it to cool off, you want to shut the door. And let me turn on the other exhaust fan. There we go. All right. So that's working really good. I got the fans running. It's blowing this cool air across the greenhouse through that wet pad. So everything seems to be working well here. Got the water going. The only thing I have left to do with the water is hook up irrigation. One of the nice things about this new Pearl controller is that it will not only control all of the environmental stuff as far as heating and cooling, but it will also do irrigation controls. And that's something that the old iGrow systems would not do. So that is a nice feature of the Pearl system, is it has both the irrigation controls and the environmental controls all combined into one. So I'll get the irrigation stuff set up here a little bit later. I've got a few other priorities I've got to take care of here at the property, but really I've got everything hooked up now. I've got power, which was very important. I've got water, and I've got the propane. Not that I really need heating right now, but it is a key feature that something I had to get done. So all three of those are done, and as far as I'm concerned, the greenhouse is pretty much constructed at this point. Just some finishing touches that I got to put on it here in a little bit. So it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but I think largely the greenhouse construction is now complete. Special thanks to Greenhouse Builders Group from Grass Valley, California. Jason, Pierre, the whole team, you did great work. Thanks a lot.